Hey everybody, this is Joe welcoming you to my new YouTube channel called The Blockhouse, and it will be followed up by a website of the same name. And the purpose of the YouTube channel and the website both will be to talk about all things space, as well as maybe some missile information and missile news and nostalgic information from the golden days of the space program. And also I plan on talking about some experiences I've had in my lifetime on the Space Coast down in Brevard County, Florida. My very first visit to the Space Coast was when I was a ripe old 6 months old. And my last visit was about 3 or 4 weeks ago for the Artemis launch attempts, which did not occur, unfortunately. So we're hoping to see the Artemis 1 lift off on a big screen somewhere, probably in mid to late November. Over the years, from the 1960s onward, my dad made sure that my siblings and I were able to visit the John F. Kennedy Space Center and Cape Canaveral several times, many times in my case, between the time I was 6 months old and the time I left home at 18. And in the process, we saw 5 or 6 really historic manned launches, starting with Apollo 15, which was, of course, the first lunar roving vehicle mission to the moon, and moving on up through Apollo-Soyuz, which was the first docking with the Russians in a cooperative mission in 1975. After that, I took my family to see several launches, including 2 shuttles, and the very first launch, test launch of the Orion spacecraft, which is now about to lift off on top of the Space Launch System, or Artemis 1. So we have followed the space program very much with great interest since I was a very young boy. The reason I'm coming to you today from an Air Force base, which is McGee-Tyson Air National Guard Base here in Louisville, Tennessee, 10 miles from my hometown of Knoxville, is because there's a bit of space history here, a little bit indirect, but somewhat unique. Behind me you see a Lockheed F-104 Starfighter on static display here at McGee-Tyson. And the reason I'm coming to you from this point is because one of the original 7 astronauts, Leroy Gordon Cooper, who flew on the Faith 7 Mercury flight in 1963, during the time that he was in Langley, Virginia as a NASA astronaut trainee, in order to maintain his Air Force flight pay as a tactical fighter pilot, he would come here to Tyson, McGee-Tyson, and fly F-104s like the one behind me to maintain his flight pay each month. Not really sure how many times he came here, but he did come here more than once to fly this awesome fighter jet, which is behind me, which was also known, in addition to being known as a Starfighter, officially it was known as the missile with a man in it. So the F-104 flew from here with the Tennessee Air National Guard. Gordo Cooper had a friend down here, stationed here, and he was able to work out some certification flights or qualification flights here in Tennessee to maintain his flight pay as an Air Force officer. So a little bit of space history right here in our own hometown of Knoxville, and East Tennesseans should be very proud that Gordo was here.
Who's the best pilot you ever saw? Huh? Who's the best pilot you ever saw? You're looking at it, baby.
So thank you very much for visiting the channel. Please subscribe to Blockhouse, the Blockhouse YouTube channel, and very soon you'll see links to the new website as it comes online. Thanks, and have a great weekend.